One of the fastest growing groups of people stopped and accused of driving under the influence are between 40 years old and 60 years old. It's a growing segment of the population, and law enforcement officers are being trained to make additional arrests based on further investigation of this particular age group. What we will usually see for someone 40 to 60 years old is a social drinking pattern, that they were out to dinner, they had a couple of drinks over dinner, and they were stopped for an item unrelated to driving under the influence. We usually don't see straddling lanes or weaving or driving too slow, that type of thing. Usually it's someone driving too fast, or maybe an equipment violation, or maybe a lane change without a signal or something like that. In this group of 40 to 60 years old, we usually see pretty good driving, but where problems start to develop is in the field sobriety tests. Field sobriety tests are exercises that an officer may have you do on the side of the road, and in this age group of 40 to 60, we start to see problems that are caused by other issues, not necessarily alcohol. Alcohol, of course, can cause some impairment and can cause difficulty with field sobriety tests, but in the age group of 40 to 60, we start to see injuries manifesting themselves. There may be sports injuries or other injuries that someone has sustained, back problems, weight problems, that may affect how someone does on field sobriety tests. And officers can easily mistake performance on field sobriety tests because of a physical limitation to a under the influence of alcohol or drugs issue. So it's very important that we be able to distinguish what was related to alcohol or drugs and what is not. And it's going to be very important to look at the chemical testing, either breath or blood testing, to determine whether someone is or is not under the influence. And this can become a battle of the experts as to who is interpreting the chemical test correctly, whether the chemical tests are analyzed correctly, whether they're performed correctly, and whether the results are trustworthy or not. For somebody who's 40 to 60 years old, it's very important that we focus not only on the driving and the field sobriety test, but how the chemical test was done. For people in the age group of 40 to 60, we have the same court procedure as we do for somebody who was 21 to 40, where the Los Angeles Superior Courts are going to try very hard to have cases resolved within 90 days, within about 3 months of the first court date, which is known as the arraignment. There's an arraignment, there's a pretrial process where your attorney gets to go to court, develop the case, negotiate the case, and then if necessary, there is a trial process as well. Most of the time, someone between 40 and 60 years old will be arrested on a misdemeanor DUI, and on misdemeanors, your attorney can appear for you at all of the court appearances, so you don't have to miss work, and your attorney can handle it. You're going to know with your attorney on your side that the case is being handled correctly and competently, and you can go to work and focus on your job, and they won't know that anything else is going on. It's very important with somebody who's 40 to 60 years old that we contact the Department of Motor Vehicles and demand a hearing within 10 days. If we don't demand that hearing early on, the DMV will automatically suspend your license. To learn more about DUIs for people between 40 and 60 years old, please call my office. You can reach me directly at 310-424-3145.